everybody, welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And we are here to share our top 5 games from 2011. You may have found your way here because we just put our bottom 5 games from 2011 on the Dice Tower a couple days ago on Friday. You can go check that out too, because if you haven't yet, because I put the link in the description below, but maybe you followed the link that's in the description over there to here and you already know that.
Yep.
But this is our top 5 games from 2011. We did share some interesting factoids about 2011 on our last video with the Dice Tower, so we'll show them here. At this point in the past, Carcassonne was no less than 10 years old already. Oh
wait, I didn't say that on the last video.
He didn't say that on the last video. Yorkieopoly was made in 2011. That I don't know why anybody would want to buy Yorkieopoly.
I have no idea.
3 Madeline games were made in 2011, and no less than 2 games from 2011 were in the BGG Top 20. War of the Ring and Castles of Burgundy. And then finally, you said something, what was it, in the top 1,000 games? There were how
46.
many? 46 2011 games. That's the most so far.
That's the most so far, yeah.
That's the most so far. And
I had 36. Yeah.
I had to dig past 700 games before those games started to be non-ranked. So
pretty good.
That's a pretty good showing for a year. Probably the best so far on both of our research.
I think 2009 there were NAs on the first or second page.
Oh man,
I don't know.
That's horrible.
I think it's true.
Oh,
no,
dude.
I don't know. Right on.
Well, that's it. This is our top 5 from 2011. Numbers 5 to 1. Let's hit it. My number 5 is a game that is sitting on my shelf right up there at the top.
Is it a Shelf of Shame?
No, it is not.
Okay.
I've played this game many times. It's by a company that I don't even think is in existence anymore, called Stratus Games. But the name of the game is called Eruption. Eruption is a game where each of the players are taking
I'm checking to see.
Are taking the role of different village leaders that are trying to save their village and their people from lava that's flowing out of
That's a good idea.
A volcano that has erupted on their island. And now look, the theme falls apart almost immediately because you start using wood and hay to redirect the flow of lava.
Perfect.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Bring me some more hay bales.
That's exactly what it feels like. So the theme completely disintegrates, which I guess is thematic.
We all know what happened in Pompeii.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. This is not a thematic game, but it's a fun game. There's a thematic disconnect in trying to stop a lava flow with wood and hay, but I'll give that a pass. It's a really fun game. It's not a hard game to teach either. It's not a hard game to understand either. So that's pretty much why I've enjoyed it so much over the years. But that's my number 5, Eruption from Stratus Games.
Nice. I've never even heard of it. I have seen it up there before, but I've never looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Sounds like a very dry Euro. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lie.
It isn't.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 5, honestly, I know I put it at my number 5, but the more I look at it, I mean, I just want to say this is one of my favorite games from 2011 for sure. I love this game.
It's one of your 5 favorites.
It is top 5. It almost feels like it's in the wrong spot. I mean, it's in that spot for a reason, but this is a great game, and I still own it, and my copy is worn heavily. I think they came out with a new edition a couple of years ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like my edition and the rules, but it is a game called Dungeon Raiders from Phil Walker Harding.
Oh,
you played Dungeon Raiders?
I can't recall.
Dungeon Raiders is a cool little game.
I know the game, but
where you like 5 levels of a dungeon, and you set up 5 cards in each of those, and it's just doors. You just see the top of the doors. There's 5, and in the last 5, there's a boss. And then every character, every one of us, you get an asymmetric character, and then you get 1 through 5. Well, asymmetric character actually is I guess a alternate way to play, but you get the numbers 1 through 5. And these stay hidden. You can also get torches and other things that will help you navigate the dungeon. But one at a time, you're going to turn over a card, and everybody has a 1 through 5, and there's 5 cards out there. So you have to bid on where you're going to land with that card. And so, like if I put everybody's bidding, so I might put down a 3 here, and everybody might put something, and if my 3 is high, then I get the best thing on that card. If it's a treasure chest, I might get, more gold or more whatever. But then that card's gone for me. So everybody's, you're trying to parse out your 1 through 5 to make sure you get them in the right place. If you get a torch to use, you can peek all 5 of the cards so you kind of know what's coming up and what you should save. You can also play, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a magic card, or you can play that instead of your 1 through 5 if you have one. And then you get to see everybody else's number first, and then you get to put a number down. So there's just these really cool little things, and anytime a monster comes up, it'll say this ogre needs, with 4 players, 10 strength to defeat. So you have to calculate everybody's what they put down. So, and if you get under that, or the person who did the lowest gets damaged, and all these different things happen.
Yeah.
So, but it's just a really fun game, and it's always a hoot. I mean,
yeah,
we've played it a ton.
Yep.
I like this game a lot.
After your description, I believe I have played that game. It has been a long time, though.
Yep.
But, yeah, I believe I have played that.
I still have it.
That's cool.
Same size box as the crew, so it's sitting right underneath the crew in my drawer.
He even knows where it is.
Yep, I do, actually.
That's pretty cool. All right, my number 4. My number 4 is a game that was put out by Plaid Hat Games, and this is sitting right over there. And I actually have 2 master sets, but this is Summoner Wars Master Set. Now,
that's
Summoner
a cheat,
Wars,
isn't it?
not really.
No,
Kind of, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll let you. I mean, you cheat all the time. So.
No, I didn't.
On these lists, you cheat. But, yeah, Summoner Wars Master Set is basically, for me, this was the one time that I kind of dove into the game. I did have sets of Summoner Wars before I bought this one, but this is where I was like, okay, I'm going to commit. This is a good game. This is a game that I like, and that's why I included it on my list.
Yep.
We've talked about Summoner Wars before. I've had it on one of my other lists, but the Master Sets are probably one of the better ways to jump into the game because it gives you... I can't remember exactly how many it gives you. I want to say it gives you 8 different factions. And that in and of itself is more than enough to play the game. Many times over. And still have a lot of variety left inside the box.
Yep.
So that's why I'm including it. I know I've included it on other lists before because it was not a 2011 game. But the Master Set is probably the best jumping in point, I guess you could say.
And that makes sense for a lot of games, right? That's a good spot if you didn't already commit a whole bunch of resources.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But there you have it. That's Summoner Wars Master Set, my number 4.
My number 4 is a really cool game. I don't know why I got rid of it, just because you have lots of games. But it's a game called Eminent Domain.
Oh.
Remember Eminent Domain? Eminent Domain was a really cool game from Minstrel Games. And you're just basically building up your empire. It almost has that Race for the Galaxy or Roll for the Galaxy kind of building up, getting these planets.
Yep.
And the planets you can defeat by military power, or you can defeat them with diplomacy, and they have different values on how you do that. But basically every time it's your turn, you're going to play a card. Or multiple cards to give you stronger values in, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. But you can colonize, you can research, you can produce resources, you can trade resources, you can survey new planets, or you can do warfare, which is attacking a planet to take it over.
Yep.
Like I said, overall, it kind of has that same theme as like Race for the Galaxy, Roll for the Galaxy. But it does it in a little bit different way. And it also has these really cool like little ships, little plastic ships that come with it that you get to use and everything else. And it might be one of the first games that ever came out where everybody gets to piggyback onto your turn. So if I play down a couple of survey cards on your turn, you get the opportunity to play a survey card too and do the same thing. Right. Or you can not do that and instead take a card. And so you're picking up a card, which makes your hand stronger for when it's your turn or whatever else. So you can either go with, jump in on that one, or you can take a card so that, you can have a stronger turn later. So, but it has that nice table, everybody's working at the same time. What do you call that?
Simultaneous?
Simultaneous, but not quite, but yes. But everybody gets to do the same actions. So everybody's involved on everybody's
like
turn.
The other one. Oh, I get you what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so if I do it, then everybody has the opportunity
to do that action.
Yep.
And then somebody else picks something else, and everybody can do that. Got you. Understood. That's not simultaneous.
So, it's not simultaneous, but it's...
I get what you're saying. My number 3 is a game by Tree Frog Games. And this one has the moniker of being probably known most for its flaw called the Halifax Hammer.
I don't know this game.
It's called A Few Acres of Snow.
I don't know this game.
Now, apparently, the game has a flaw in which you can use and abuse Halifax, which is a city or a village, town, whatever.
I thought it was a horse.
Within the French and Indian War. That's where this game takes place. It's actually about that. You're taking the two sides of the French and Indian War. And so the Halifax Hammer was some chink in the armor of the game that allowed you to exploit the game, and if you could get the Halifax Hammer to work for you, then you were unbeatable. I don't know how many times you have to play the game in order to find these things.
Yeah, I don't know.
I played the game a good number of times.
But not 600.
But not 600, apparently.
Not 600.
And I never ran into this. And I really enjoyed the game. Martin Wallace, I think, did a very good job making this game. And there aren't, at least I don't think there are a ton of French and Indian War games out there.
Not that I know of.
But this was a good one.
What you should have done is got beat by somebody with this Halifax Hammer and then played 3 more times with them, see if they could repeat it.
They could do it again?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
No.
It doesn't sound like fun at all. But I really enjoy this game. It's a beautiful looking game as well. The graphic design and artistry was very well done. And I think Martin Wallace did a good job. So that's my number 4, A Few Acres of Snow.
Nice. That was your number 3.
Did I say 4?
Maybe.
That was my 3.
That was his 3.
Yep.
All right. My number 3 is an adorable little game where you're putting out different colored farm plots, you're growing sugarcane, and you're feeding the panda. It's a game called Takenoko. Takenoko is a cute game. Your turns are very easy. You have a couple of actions you can do. You can move the farmer around to grow more of the... It's not sugar cane. It's bamboo. Yeah. Bamboo. You can grow more bamboo, or you can move the panda around and get the piece of bamboo off of the color that you need. It has this cool mechanism where there's 3 different piles of quests or objectives. One's for pandas, one for farmers, and one's for just the layout of the land. And so you get when you're going for cards, you can pick which kind you're liking and which kind you're not, So you get to pick which objectives you kind of take on. But yeah, it's just a fun little game. It's got a cute little table presence. It's an easy family game for anybody to play. And it's really cute.
This could have easily been on my list. And I think if I wasn't... when I was making the list, I saw vocabulary, and I had completely forgotten about it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I loved that game."
That makes sense.
I had already written down Takanoko, and vocabulary jumped in on 10. It could very easily have been Takanoko.
Nice.
At number 10. I really enjoy this game, and it's a beautiful game at that.
Yes.
As well. Great production value. Love the little panda that comes in the game.
They made a giant version.
Yes, they did. They made like a $300 version back in the day, and the Dice Tower had it, and I drooled over it every single time we
Was
saw
that the giant version?
Yeah.
Were the giant tiles and everything?
Came in a box that was like this big. It was huge. Of course, now there's Foundations of Rome, so it's probably diminutive at that point.
That's right.
But no, that's a good pick. Very good. My number 2 is a trick-taking game.
It's a trick-taking game.
Yep.
From 2011.
Put out by Yellow. IELLO.
Man, oh man, how did I miss this one?
The Dwarf King. It's
Oh,
called
you
The
know
Dwarf
what?
King.
I know how I missed this one.
How'd you miss it?
Because I couldn't remember if I played it. I'm pretty sure I played it, but then I couldn't remember if I played it.
I
actually had it on my list.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite trick-taking games because the way what you have to play for every round changes. Mm-hmm. I love that.
I think I played it. I might have even played it with you.
Oh, I love the Dwarf King. I've taken it too because there are people in our game group that love card games.
Yeah,
a lot of card game players, and so I keep trying to bring these newer card games so that I can. And what I'll do is I'll kind of you teach me a game and then I'll teach you a game.
Sure.
And so they teach me one of the games that we just play using
regular deck of cards.
Regular deck of cards. And then I bring out a card game that's, kind of similar. I mean, not really, but it's very similar. And it has better artwork and all that other kind of stuff.
Yep.
So that's what we've done. And I've taken this and played it more than a couple of times at game nights, and they've really enjoyed it. And the fact that it's trick-taking for card players, it allows that hook automatically, and a lot of people enjoy it. Some of them are like, I'd rather not have to change my my mindset with every round.
Your objective every round.
Yeah, when the objective changes, that kind of throws people off. But I've had a lot of success with it, and in those kinds of situations. So it's one of my favorite trick-taking games. That's the Dwarf King from Yellow, my number 2.
When I first went through and started writing everything down, that one was one that I wrote down, and I wrote down a bunch of other ones. And then I started, and then I'm like, have I played it? Have I not played it? Like I couldn't remember, like the hook or anything else. So that one, and there was another one, since I'll mention it right now, called Lost Temple, that I feel like I've played, but I can't remember. So it didn't make the list. But my number 2 is a crossover with his number 1, although he can't say anything, and definitely no spoiler alerts. But I would assume my number 2 is a game called King of Tokyo from Yellow and Richard Garfield.
False.
What? What do you mean false?
False.
Oh, well, okay then.
Might be your number 2.
Well,
it's not my number 2.
That's right. It's not your number 2. My number 2 is King of Tokyo. We all know and love King of Tokyo. This is where it all started. This is where it all began.
That's where it all began.
The dice and the King of the Hill and scratching and healing and getting lightning bolts so you can have 2 heads. All of that good stuff. That began in 2011. You can have 2 heads,
that's right.
So
that's great.
That is my number 2, is King of Tokyo.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Enough said.
Yep. My number 1, JT called it. Spoiler alert. Number 1 is King of Tokyo. Now, I will say this, that my favorite version to play right now is the Dark Edition. Agreed. That's my favorite way to play King of Tokyo. But they have a new version out that it's like, I don't know, it's like a bare bone version.
Retro version.
And it looked like it was pretty fun too. The people that Dice Tower played it on their end of the Kickstarter campaign live stream.
Give me the Dark Edition. I'm good.
No, I really enjoy the Dark Edition as well. I have everything. I've got the 2 boxes up on the wall over there as just kind of like art, but I have everything in a big, all the stuff from regular King of Tokyo and the Dark Edition all in one big, huge box.
Nice.
So, I really enjoy this game. It's just so much fun. You can pick how you want to win. If you want to try to win by points, or if you just want to win by knocking everybody out, it's a really great time. It's a really great time. Just monster. I was about to use
Monster bashing goodness.
There you go, monster bashing goodness. There you go.
Yep.
And it's just a lot of fun. Good dice rolling. So that's my number one.
That is an excellent number one. A game that will last in our collections forever, I'm sure.
Probably so.
All right, my number one is a pretty heavy Euro as far as that goes, with really cute little imps and a lot of poop.
Oh, I know what
and that is Dungeon Pets.
Dungeon Poops.
Dungeon Pets from Vlaada Chvátil and Czechs Games Edition. It's just a game that I love. It's a game that Metal and I just, it doesn't matter, we just love it.
Yep.
And it has so much turn angst and so much, I mean, there's a lot going on, and every move that somebody takes just makes your guts knot up.
Yep.
That's my favorite kind of game. So it is kind of my favorite kind
I don't want to get stressed, man.
No, I really like games that have that. And like you said, they have these cute little imps, and you're hiding behind your screen. You're betting imps and gold in lines. And then when everybody shows, depending on who has the most, they get to go first across the board, and you pick up little monster babies, and you
monster poops.
Yep, and you put them in pens, and you got to feed them and play with them and clean up their poop. And
don't play with the monster poops, though.
Not the poops, just
the
monsters. But anyways, yeah, it's a gorgeous little game.
Yeah,
you're selling these monsters off to the evil dungeon lords, just like you should.
Vlaada Chvátil. Very good.
I love the game.
That's a good game. It's a good pick. All right, that is our top 5 games from 2011. Next week, this Friday and next Monday, we're going to be doing our bottom 5 and top 5 post-apocalyptic games.
Yep.
This should be interesting.
Had some very interesting options.
This was that was a category that was proffered by one of our audience.
Nice.
So,
well, thank you.
Yep. We're going to do it. That'll be on Friday and then the following Monday. But for now, we'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What he said.
See you later.